Hello, here we are back with a video for Krista's Joyful Journey. I have been wanting to restart this channel for a while now, but then I have been so hesitant to just push record on the phone and film my first video back because it has been forever. And sometimes that can feel like maybe it was a bit of a failure, but I don't think so. I think I just needed a break from it, and that's okay. But here we are. I need the accountability and the motivation that I get from connecting with you about our health journeys, mental health, spiritual health, physical health, all of the things, emotional health. So today we're going to be talking about word of the year. I know that not everybody chooses a word of the year, but I do this is my 4th year in a row. And so I want to talk about how I came up with my word of the year, what I hope to get out of it, and why I chose this as my word of the year, and ideas of how you can discover your word of the year. And then I would love to chat with you down in the comments about what is your word for this year and how did you come upon that and what are you hoping to gain from it. And then hopefully throughout the year, we revisit this word and how is it impacting our lives? How is it helping with our health journeys? All of those things. So my word for 2026, straight off the bat here, is focus. I really am excited about having focus as my word of the year. I think it's going to be really good. And I, for a minute, didn't think that I was going to have a word for this year because I have 2 main goals for my life and my health for this year. This coming July, I turn 50. And so I would really like to be out of debt by the time I turn 50. It's a goal I've been working on for a few years. And now the light is at the end of the tunnel and it feels very doable, but also is going to require attention and focus. And then my second goal for the year is to lose 50 pounds before I turn 50. 50 by 50. It has a nice little ring to it, but it also is going to be something that requires a lot of focus. So I wasn't going to have a word of the year because I just wanted to focus on those 2 goals. And when I went to my mom's house for Thanksgiving, we were just talking about this coming year, and she asked me if I had a word for the year because she used to my word last year was joy. And so anytime she'd see something with the word joy on it, she would consider getting it for me. So she's like, what's your word for next year so I can start looking? I said, well, I don't think I'm going to have one next year. I just want to focus on my 2 goals. My 2 big goals. She's like, well, there's your word. And I was like, what? She's like, focus. And the more I thought about it, the more I agree. I really, really would love to achieve these 2 goals by the time I turn 50 in July. I adopted it. It was a really quick decision, but it just seemed to resonate immediately with my intentions for this coming year. Normally, as part of my word of the year, I look up a list of a whole sheet filled with Bible verses, and part of the beginning of the year for my devotions, I spend time writing out all of those verses that have to do with my word. I did this for Steadfast 3 years ago, and then Hope a couple years ago, and then last year I did it with Joy. But this year with Focus, I want to shift how I do that. So instead of a whole list of verses, I picked 12 verses that have to do with where we're setting our mind, where we're setting our intentions, what are we thinking about, that have to do with focus, even if they don't necessarily have the word focus in them. I chose 12, and I'm going to focus on 1 verse per month of the year. So for January, for example, I did start a kind of a Bible journal for this year, which is something new for me. I was gifted this Read Through the Bible sticker bookshelf. And so I wanted to put that in a journal. And so I started this Bible journal. And the first thing I'm going to do of each month is write out my verse, my focus verse of the month, and do a little word mapping. I haven't done it yet, but just kind of looking at the verse and different words that stand out to me. I might look up a definition. I might write out what that means to me. How am I going to use this verse to focus my living in that month? And also hopefully memorize it because I want to look at it almost every day of the month. So for January, my verse is Proverbs 4:25 and 26, which says, "Let your eyes look straight ahead, fix your gaze directly before you, give careful thought to the paths for your feet, and be steadfast in all your ways." Does that not speak to focus? I definitely can see how those verses reflect a focused life and a focused mind. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the paths for your feet, and be steadfast in all your ways. I love that because it speaks to like what I want to be doing, where I'm going, my goals ahead of me, and being faithful in all the little things along the way. I also have put the word focus in my reading journal so that I see it in there every time I open that book up. I'm really excited about focusing on these 2 goals, which we will talk about more in depth in some upcoming videos here. I just wanted to keep this one quick, thinking about your word of the year. In the past, I have read through, you can look up word of the year lists, and I have kind of read through them and just seen what jumps out to me. I kind of narrow the list down, and anything that jumped out to me, I would write them down and think about it, pray about it. Sometimes I had a specific reason, like with focus, I had a specific reason for choosing focus. But sometimes it was just like, you know what? I feel like I keep hearing this word in messages and talking with people in things that I'm reading. It just keeps popping up. So there's no right or wrong way to choose a word. I definitely have had years in the past where I've chosen a word for the year and didn't do anything with it. And that's okay. But I do think choosing a word to focus on for the year helps guide our intentions, our goal setting, our mental, emotional side of things as well, our commitments to the choices that we want to make throughout the year. I think choosing a word for the year, it's a fun way to kind of guide our goals and our choices as we move through the year. So I would encourage you, if you've never chosen a word for the year, maybe pick one this year. Maybe think about it. What is it that you want to accomplish? What is it that you'd like to do this year? Where would you like to be at the end of the year? And what word might help you along that path? I would love to hear if you do already have a word of the year. How did you decide on it? Let's chat in the comments down below. And I'm just going to keep this one nice and short. I'll be coming back in the next few days to talk about my 2 goals for the year. And I also would love to hear from you. What would you like to see on this channel? What would keep you coming back? For me, I know I need this for accountability, to check in with how I'm doing with things, and we'll get into the nitty-gritty of that as we move along. Let me know that in the comments down below as well. Thanks so much for being on your journey and sharing your journey with me. I always find it motivating when we can connect in community and work towards the best version of ourselves that we can be. All right, that's it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.